proceed to rotation number 3 tonight in the final dual meet of the regular season for the North Carolina Tar Heels and the Western Michigan Broncos here inside of Carmichael Arena in Chapel Hill. Alongside Sydney Sneed, my name is Matt Krause. And Sydney, Carolina halfway to their highest score of their season, and Western Michigan tracking for a big road score too. It's been some solid performances through 2 rotations, hasn't it?
Yeah, they've done a phenomenal job, both teams, trying to beat their highest scores. Western Michigan on the road as well, but Carolina on track for one of their highest too. So really it's going to be how can you finish these next 2 events. UNC has balance beam. They're going to have to come out strong on that and then end on a great note on floor. Same with Western Michigan. Ending on balance beam can be challenging as well. So I'm interested to see how both teams are going to do. And
we may see some more big scores in this 3rd rotation. Let me tell you why. Carolina 21st nationally in beam. They are 3rd in the ACC and US of 49-110. As for Western Michigan, they lead the MAC. They are 31st nationally on floor. This is the best event for Western Michigan and one of Carolina's best events.
That's what makes these competitions so much fun. But it is a chance, like you mentioned, both of these teams going to some of their best events. How can they capitalize on this opportunity?
Jessica Naranjo on beam for the Tar Heels. Naranjo, sophomore from Hialeah, Florida. 9.55 last week. Career best is a 9.925.
We talk about this leadoff spot on balance beam, but it is very difficult. There's a lot of pressure that rides on that first athlete up on any event, but especially on a make or break event like balance beam. She does that combination there, no problem.
She'll look to earn her bonus through high difficulty interconnections.
One thing I like about her on balance beam is just how aggressive she is and confident. You can see it even in her dance. So far, this has been a really beautiful routine. Just has that dismount. She does that back handspring a 1.5, and wow, talk about a start. That's about as good as it gets. Take another look right here at this dismount. She does that back handspring into the 1.5, that blind landing, and it's just rock solid.
Are sticks contagious across rotations to different events? It seems
That's
like
a good question. Yeah, I was going to say, I think it seems like it.
Rylan Garvey, the freshman on floor for Western Michigan. Last week, a career best 9.85.
Looks like there was just an issue with the music there. The music didn't start. I think they were testing it out, maybe. And even something small like that, you go up to floor, you're in your starting position, the music either messes up, doesn't start, whatever the case is. It seems silly, but sometimes it can play an effect into what's going on in your mind and what you're thinking, because you're so in the zone, so ready to go, and then it's kind of like, oh, hold on, stop for a second. You have all that energy built up.
The score in for Naranjo, a 9.925 for that leadoff routine on beam for the Tar Heels.
Wow.
That is a career high for the sophomore.
Very well deserved, though. There were hardly, I didn't even see a wobble on that routine. So now they have a great chance to continue to build and capitalize on that. Starting off this floor routine, wow, beautiful double pike. One thing that stuck out was the control that she had on that landing. You're able to take that lunge without the deduction. If it is a really big lunge, the judges could take however much they think, but floor, obviously, you're not expecting to stick it with 2 feet. to a double tuck. She landed with her chest down a little bit, but popped up and covered it up so well. So really nice routine for them. I like how she had the double pike first pass, double tuck second pass. It's very difficult to have both of those. But you can see right here also doing a front pike into a double tuck. Not an easy pass. She pops up to kind of cover that deduction there.
We'll await the score for Garvey as JoJo Valahovic takes to the beam. Graceful beam worker who has beautiful lines, her skills, and some fun dance too.
Yeah, we saw her do really pretty 1.5 vault. And what was important to note was the execution she had and that she has throughout all of her gymnastics on every single event. She did that back handspring, back layout, acro. No wobble on that. You can see that leap combination. She's a little bit off, but I like that she was able to move through it because in order to get that bonus, you have to connect those or it could affect that start value. Ending it with that round off. 1.5, another stick. There's just like a bucket of sticks, I think, and I'm just thinking of each one getting thrown in. I mean, wow. Very impressive there. We'll take another look here at this leap combination. She does that switch leap. It's a little bit off, but keeps it moving. That's really impressive because most people would have stopped and not been able to connect it. So at this point in the season, being able to work through those things instead of taking that fall is really important.
That's a freshman who now has nearly an entire regular season under her belt versus someone who was just starting out even 2 months ago.
Absolutely.
Hannah Milton on floor for Western Michigan. Milton a 9.85 last week. Season best is 9.875.
For this first tumbling pass, she does a front layout into that Rudy jump, which is a pretty big combination there. In the corner for this next tumbling pass here. A little bit of breathing. She does a round off, double tuck. She had great height on that, just broke out. So that deduction is gonna come on that landing there. But a solid routine for them. Again, beautiful height on the double back, but couldn't quite get it all the way around for that no deduction. You can see right here, just breaks out.
Back over to beam, Nev Kim for the Tar Heels. 9.75 last time out, a 9.85 is her career best.
You can see that mount she did, that back handspring or backflip grabbing to the balance beam. That's really difficult.
King has worked really hard. She's come back from injury, improved her form and consistency, to be able to build her confidence and earn a spot in this Carolina beam lineup.
She does that handspring back layout acro series. See that switch leap to split half combination there. Bit of a wobble on that. But she's still doing a great job moving through. So far through this beam lineup, we're halfway through it. They all just look very confident. Just has the dismount left. Let's see if she can get a stick on this 1.5. I think she got it. It looked like her feet were moving. I don't know.
There was this slight step forward.
Yeah.
It looked like from our angle.
I was paying attention more to her, the position that she landed in. But take another look here at this mount. Really takes a lot of strength to be able to hold that up. And then again, she ended with that round off 1.5. I did see her feet kind of move, but again, I was paying attention to her landing position in the air. Yeah, it did move, you're right.
Donna Catherine Roy on the floor for Western Michigan after a 9-7 for Milton Pryor.
Getting ready for this first tumbling pass. It's gonna be a nice double pike. She had a lot of power on that. So it was a bit of a bigger step. But Western Michigan, they've had a ton of power on floor exercise, which is good to see. I've seen some big tumbling out of them. And it's important when you have that big tumbling or those big passes to be able to control those landings and have that air awareness of where you're at in the air. You don't want to go out of bounds or make those little mistakes anymore at this point. It's almost like you're on airplane mode now with all your routines. She just has that double back, landed with her chest down, but was able to recover, taking that step back. So ending with the double back is, we talked about earlier, it's not easy. You can see right here the first pass. I like the double pike. A little bit of a bigger lunge on that landing, so the judges may take if they want to. But a solid routine for Western Michigan.
Still awaiting the score for Nev King. Judges are having a bit of a conversation on that. So a little more time for Julia Noer to think before she mounts the beam one last time here at Carmichael Arena. Competitive action for the Tar Heels. You know, senior night can go a couple different ways. There's nerves involved, but also the emotions can be channeled positively, and it sure seems like it's been channeled into big scores and just a positive mojo all through the lineup for North Carolina tonight.
Yes, when we talked to Coach Durante, we asked about what those emotions were going to be like and what was the messaging to the team and to the athletes, and I think it was so well said. It was, hey, we're going to go out there, we're going to do our gymnastics, and then we're going to enjoy senior night. We're going to enjoy, of course, the athletes during the meet, but focus on the meet, channeling that energy, everyone's energy towards hitting those routines and doing well for them. And then after the meet, we're going to celebrate them and their accomplishments. And I think that's a great way to look at it, because sometimes you put too much pressure on yourself for a senior night. And this routine has to be perfect, or it's my last one. And that's not what you want to do.
And these seniors, while they were not starting the recruiting process once Dana Durante got here to Carolina, this is the first group of seniors that has competed for 4 years solely under Dana Durante's leadership. It's a special group for her.
I was just going to say, that is extra special. Julia Noer, we talked about her earlier, just how much power she has on every single event. You'll see the height she gets right here on this acro series back handspring back layout. Looks like she's doing it on the floor. No problems there. Really nice job on that height, on that leap combination. So far, she's moving through this so smoothly. She's gonna do the front toss there. Wow. She landed so upright. So far, so good on this routine. Just has that dismount left. She's gonna be looking for a stick right here. Can she get it? Round off 1.5. So close. That does not take away, though, from how beautiful of a routine it was. The judges will take a deduction on that hop forwards, but other than that, I did not see much throughout that routine. Take another look here. She does that round off, and look at the height on the 1.5. So much power.
When Noah takes a step forward on a landing, it's a big step forward. She's got a lot of power. Kennedy Cooper on floor, freshman who scored a 9.725 last time for Western Michigan.
And wow, she started off with a tucked full in. That's an E tumbling pass. So when we're looking at the difficulty, A through E, A being the easiest, E being the most difficult. That kind of gives you a sense of how hard that was. And she landed perfectly on that. Getting ready for her next tumbling pass. Coming up right here. A front tuck through to a double back. Unfortunately, just could not get that all the way around. Looked like it was just a lack of power. And I hate that for the routine because that full in first pass was so good. So again, it's harder to do these tumbling passes from a front tuck, and you just see right there, just didn't have enough height to be able to pull that tumbling pass all the way around, unfortunately. So that is going to be a fall for Western Michigan there.
But with 3.97s before, still the opportunity for the Broncos to be able to drop that score and still score comfortably on floor. When fate on beat for the Tar Heels. Junior from South Carolina. Extremely, extremely consistent on B. Makes everything look very easy and fluid.
I love watching her on this event. Not only is she consistent, like you mentioned, but just so graceful. She starts off with that switch leap combination. It's like she's floating on balance beam, but she's going to do a really difficult triple series here. Back handspring, layout, layout. Let's see right there. Beautifully done there. She does that full turn. Seems like such a simple and basic skill, but sometimes those full turns will get you a little bit. So that's going to be a deduction on that wobble, but does that back handspring, gainer, off the side, has a lot of power, so looks like she had to take that step backwards there, but take another look at one of the highlights. That back handspring, back layout. Any type of triple series is extremely difficult.
Scores were a little bit late coming in for King and Nowhere before Fink. They were both a 9.8. Cooper on floor was a 9.075. Now sit back and enjoy Cassie St. Clair, the reigning co-champion on floor in the Mid-American Conference last year. She scored a 9.9 in the championship meet and was regional qualified.
We're going to see a lot of big tumbling in this floor routine. Starting with a 1.5 to front layout. So a little bit of pressure riding on this routine, just following that fall. Like I mentioned earlier, at this point, most of these routines, you're on airplane mode for them. You're really just focused on the tiny, tiny details. like the toe point, the execution, obviously the sticks and the landings as well. But last pass here, it's going to be a front double twist, which is an E pass as well. Really difficult because of the two twists, frontwards with that blind landing. But she did a great job controlling those landings, so that's going to be a good score for Western Michigan there.
Reagan McBride on beam for the Tar Heels after Fink's 9.725.
She does a really great job attacking in this event and has the potential for a really high score here. Starting at that side aerial back handspring. Very tough combination there, had a slight wobble on it. But she saved it from being a lot bigger. This is that cat leap into the switch side. Really nice job getting that 180-degree split there. Beautifully done front toss there as well. I like how she's moving through this routine and just has the dismount left. That side aerial 1.5. It looked like on that side aerial, she got a little bit messed up, wasn't quite at the end of the beam. So that's hard to get that power to the 1.5, being able to land that straight. So that's going to be a deduction there. But that series was a little off in the air, and like I said, she did a phenomenal job being able to square it back off and save it.
St. Clair a 9.825 on floor, highest score that Western Michigan has recorded. And the anchor in this rotation for the Broncos is Allie Shop, senior from Algonquin, Illinois, 9.825 last week.
First pass, she does a Rudy, which is a front 1.5 into that back tuck combination. I like the height she got on that back tuck. Those combination skills can be difficult. Seen a lot of two-pass floor routines. She's getting ready here for her last tumbling pass. It's going to be another front double full there. You see the blind landing, so nice job with that air awareness, being able to break out for that landing. Take another look here. You can see that front handspring into that front double full. She lands a little bit wonky there. The judges might take a little bit uneasy, but she did a great job covering it.
Taylor Schultz with an exhibition on beam for the Tar Heels. McBride with a 9.6. That gets dropped. So Carolina a 49.050 on beam. The Tar Heels clearing 49 for the 6th time this season in this event. And Carolina's now gone over 49 in all 3 rotations tonight.
Love the execution and that toe point. Beam is an event where you can really show off the form that you have, the straight legs, the pointed toes. And she does a great job doing that. Beautiful side aerial there. See that full turn. Just has this dismount left. Back handspring. Gainer full off the side. From our angle, it looked like it was a stick, but really good routine. See some emotions there from her teammates as well. Take another look at the dismount from this angle. It was a stick, so nicely done there.
This is an exhibition on floor for Julie Korfich of Western Michigan. The Broncos do get to drop the fall from Cooper, so it's a 48-7-2-5 on the floor for Western Michigan.
She starts off that routine with a double pike. I liked the body positioning in the air, but had too much power on that. I feel like tonight we've seen a lot of too much power, and that's a great problem to have. But again, at this point in the season, you really want to be looking at how to control those landings and how to kind of contain that power.
How do you do that moving forward?
It's different on each event, but it's really just being aware in the air. You know, you've done these skills and routines hundreds and hundreds of times. So how can you be consistent in where your timing is, where you're spotting to be able to break out for that landing? You got to be able to do that consistently in the gym for it to come out in competition. Last pass right here, a front pull and a front layout. No problems on that pass. So we saw a 3-pass routine there. Really impressive. You can see that punch, Rudy to back layout, step out. One of my favorite tumbling runs to watch. To finish out that lineup for Western Michigan.
So the Tar Heels with a 49.050 and Western Michigan 48.725 on floor. 3 rotations complete. North Carolina tracking toward another 196 here tonight in their home senior night competition. We'll come back with the 4th rotation after this.
Tonight's 3rd rotation of the competition. Gymnasts, your 2-minute transition period begins now. Please move to your next event. Western Michigan will be on the beam, and your Carolina Cheerleaders on the floor. And fans, let's hear you get loud. Get those hands in the air for more t-shirts. The Tar Heels have a 9.925 on the beam, courtesy of Jessica Arano. That's a Smith & Shiny performance. T-shirts coming your way. All right, fans, let's head back up to section 104 to Olivia.
You know what time it is. We will see your 4th in there for the 4th rotation. Attention coaches and gymnasts, your 4-minute touch period begins now.